The pain. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Professor Anime coming back at you with another video. And in today's video, guys, we will be reviewing Berserk Volume 3. Now, before I actually get into this review, let me just say this. Rereading these volumes is hard. It really is. All of the emotions that are involved in Berserk, the creation of the series in general, pain, sorrow, loneliness, like all of the emotions that you will come across in Berserk, you can really feel these emotions. Like, I've read this before. I've read this, but rereading it has just made me go like, man, this series is rough. This is a straight up tragedy. It really is. Now, when it comes to my review of Volume 3 of Berserk, I am pretty much going to go over every little thing that was included in this volume because, you know, there is just a lot to talk about in Berserk, especially in Volume 3. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, I highly recommend you at least, you know, leave the video and probably catch up with the Berserk series, at least Volumes 1 through 9. At least read those before you watch this video because that is pretty much all I'm going to be going over as far as this video goes. So, yeah, without out of the way, let's talk about Berserk Volume 3. So, do you remember that name that I briefly have gone over in my past few volumes of Berserk? Griffith? Yeah. He actually appears in this volume of Berserk, and it actually, ironically, turns out that Guts and Griffith used to be partners back in the day. Apparently, it seems that Griffith and Guts used to be along the lines of friends, but now it seems that Griffith has become a Godhand, which, as we know from Volume 2, is actually a demon king, or a demon lord. Also, as it turns out, it seems that Griffith was actually the one who gave Guts the brand. And from what we know in Volume 1 of Berserk is that the brand basically causes internal pain for Guts, and it is used to summon demons. Now, do you remember the Behelit in Volume 2? Well, in Volume 3, we get to exactly see how that was used, but let's just recap on what exactly the Behelit is. The Behelit is a key that opens a portal to another world that overlaps our own. It's a key that summons demons from another dimension that have manipulated the dark side of human history since ancient times. So, in Volume 3, we actually get to see how exactly the Behelit is used. We get to see the portal that it brings forth. It brings forth the 5 members of the Godhand, and that's where Griffith comes in. Now, apparently, what this Behelit can actually do, while it does open up a portal to another dimension, what it actually is used for is that apparently, I guess, the Behelit feeds off of the desire of the individual on what they truly want in life. And in order to do this, what they must do is first make a sacrifice. We get to see that the Count actually is trying, he's basically debating whether he should sacrifice his daughter or not, Teresa. And if he does this, he will live on, basically. Now, probably after reading this volume, you are going to be wondering how exactly did Guts survive this? Because from what we know of what the Behelit can do, how it brings forth a new portal to another world that brings forth all 5 members of the Godhand, and how exactly the brand of sacrifice works, how exactly did Guts survive this? Because it seems like he was brought into this other world before, but yet he has survived the first time, and yet, even by the end of this volume, he survived this portal a second time. Now, obviously, I know exactly what exactly happened, but I'm not going to go far into that yet, because that would just be giving spoilers away, and I don't want to do that, at least for this portion of the video. However, be prepared now, because now we are heading into spoiler territory. Now, after Guts, Teresa, and Puck are thrown out of the portal because, you know, the Count got swallowed up and obviously the brand of sacrifice wasn't complete. So, after they are thrown out, we get to see that one scene with Teresa and Guts. Now, it was a very hard scene to read because, I mean, you know, there was a lot of emotion going out through that series because Teresa is just yelling at Guts and saying, you know what, if I never met you, this would have never happened. I wouldn't have lost my father, and she is someone that, you know, has lost her mother and now her father at this point, and, you know, she is just like, what else do I have to live for? You know, I just want to go back to my room where everything was nice and safe for me. But now she has been exposed to the outside world, and this is going to affect her. And basically what Kentaro Miura is trying to convey is that, you know, inside the walls of, you know, our rooms, we are pretty much ourselves. We have a nice, safe life, but once we step out into the outside world, we really see how corrupted and how evil the world truly is, and that is exactly what is being shown in that scene with Guts and Teresa. She's just, you know, yelling at him, saying, I want you dead, I want you dead. And she also even tries to commit suicide at one point. And, you know, as Guts is finally walking away from her, when she says, I'll kill you one day, I swear upon it, he's just giving off a smile and is like, alright, go ahead. And then Puck is just like, what are you doing, Guts? And then he's like, whoa, because he notices Guts' change in expression. He is crying, and it's really sad because, you know, all the people that Guts comes into contact with, it really just shows you that there is always consequences involved with people, and generally he does really care about people. It's just that he has to put on this type of facade, or else he is just going to end up getting those around him killed. And dude, we get that backstory with the Count in this volume as well, and man, okay, so the Count, you know, was pretty much like a everyday man. You know, he was a noble knight, and he had a wife, and he had a daughter, and he loved them all very much. But then one day, he ends up seeing that his wife, including other women and men, are all having sex with this goat statue, and like, dude, like, what the fuck? And dude, once I saw this scene, I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And, you know, because of this, it led to how exactly the Count ended up becoming a demon himself. What happened in the scene is that the Count, upon, you know, seeing the actions that his wife committed, he wanted revenge. He hated his wife now, and he was about to kill her. But in the end, he couldn't do it because that just shows you how much love he had for his family and his wife in general. And then at the corner you see the Behelit, and this is how exactly he was exposed to the Behelit and how exactly he became a demon himself. The Behelit, you know, opens up the you know, the parallel world of the Godhand, and brands the wife as a sacrifice because he accidentally uttered the words, probably in the moment of hatred that he had for his wife, that I wish for you to brand her as a sacrifice. And this is how the Count ended up becoming a demon. Now, at the end of this volume, we only get a hint at the backstory of Guts, but for the amount of content that it involves with his backstory, I mean, man, that stuff is messed up. Also in Volume 3, we also get to see Guts' backstory and, you know, basically see what went down in his childhood before, you know, other events, obviously. But from what we see in his childhood, I mean, dang, Guts has had a rough and terrible, a very dark life. He really has. He was born from a dead corpse, okay? And he was half dead at first, but then he started to breathe again, and he was picked up by a band of thieves or bandits, and he was taken in by them. And his mother figure at the time ended up being exposed to the plague. She ends up dying, and then he is then taken under the care of the leader of the band known as Gambino, who ends up being a father-like figure to Guts, at least in Guts' eyes, because that is technically the only person that he has ever known. He has only looked up to Gambino because, you know, he's the leader of the band. He took in Guts when he was at a very young age, so how can you not respect him? But let me tell you this, Gambino is not a great father figure at all. He is terrible. Terrible, man. And, you know, Guts all his life, this is where we get to see how great of a swords master Guts is, because in volumes 1 through 2 we were like, dang, where did he learn his stuff at? And apparently it all started with Gambino teaching him the ways of swordplay and to how to survive in combat. And that last scene in this volume of Berserk, I just hate it so much, because I know once I reread Volume 4, right at the beginning, I know exactly where the last panel ends off and where it's going to lead to. And man, this series is just dark beyond pretty much anything I have ever read. But yeah, guys, that about does it for my Volume 3 review of Berserk. You know, as always, the artwork in this series alone is to die for, and the storytelling alone is just freaking amazing. Kentaro Miura is a great writer, and he is also a very good artist, and I just love this series. But it's, you know, it's really hard to try to reread these volumes without being somewhat disturbed at some of the stuff, because even if you have experienced this before, if you go ahead and reread it, you're gonna be like, oh man, I remember this scene, I don't want to reread it again, too much tragedy. So yeah, hopefully you understand my pain. That about does it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed my Volume 3 review of Berserk. If you like this video, please give it a like. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on what you think about Berserk so far. Are you reading the series along with me? What did you think about Volume 3? And would you like to keep seeing more reviews like this in the near future? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos from me on this channel, then please hit that red subscribe button below and you'll never miss a video from me. That about does it for this video, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Catch you guys next time.